All right, we're back. We got another review for you today. This time we're going to talk about a piece that made its debut last year at Comic-Con with the Arwen and Frodo on Asfaloth. It's a 750 piece edition size, $6.99 price tag. Sculpted by Jane Winley, who last year was at Comic-Con and got a chance to talk to her about what it went into to make this piece and just the process. And it was pretty interesting to hear her talk about the process to sculpt a statue like this, because there's a fair bit going on. You've got two characters. You've got the horse. You've got clear resin and stuff like that used for the water. You've got clear resin that was used for the parts that look like chiffon material. We'll obviously show you those when we get her set up, and what those look like, and talk about which parts go where and stuff like that. But it's a beautiful sculpt. It's really cool. Since then, they've announced the ring wraith on steed that goes with that. It's obviously you got the two pieces that make up a scene, and if you ordered both, you get an art print painted by Jerry Vanderstelt, who when I got to stop by his booth this year at Comic-Con was actually working on it. It's going to be a beautiful piece. So definitely for those of you that ordered both, like myself, we're in for a real treat as far as that goes. But this Arwen and Frodo piece is really cool. I like that it shows Frodo in a moment where he's in grave danger. And it kind of goes opposite to the piece we saw this year at Comic-Con with Gandalf and Frodo, and kind of Frodo's last moments of happiness. So really kind of interesting that 2 years in a row there's been a Frodo-involved piece showing both scales. But this is a really cool statue. I love the Horse and Rider series. It's one of my favorites. I'm glad to have this one in my collection because I think it's a really beautiful piece. It's a wonderful addition of Arwen in the collection, who doesn't have that many statues or pieces of her made in general. So really cool, great paint overall. I'll talk about maybe a potential issue that I have with it, and maybe you do too. But it's a beautiful piece as a whole. Like I said, it's $6.99, 750 edition size. You can still get it. So let me go get her set up, and we'll see. All right, we got Arwen and Frodo set up here. Per usual, we'll do the 360 spin around, and we'll start talking about some things. I do have some guests for this one, for those of you that ask. You may hear some noises in the background. Neighbor kids are out playing and stuff, but I think we can make it through, so it's all good. Alright, sorry for having to stop there. My little friends decided they were going to bark a little too much, so I shut the door. So it might be a weird edit there when I jump at a little bit of spot, but alright, we'll just kind of start here at the bottom. So last year at Comic-Con was the first year they had really gone with the clear resin on a lot of stuff, or had started to really incorporate it, maybe is a better way of putting it. And so you have the new clear resin that they used on the water to give the water effect, and it looks really, really cool. It's really well done. You've got the big splash there. You've got the two smaller splashes where the hooves set in. You've got the rocks here in the back that the tail rests on, and the tail itself is a separate piece. So that was a little difficult and a little nerve-wracking putting it in as far as that goes, but all in all, it wasn't too hard of a piece to really get set up. but the tail definitely was maybe the most nerve-wracking part for me. You've got great detailing in the little blanket that goes under the saddle. Really good detailing in it, I think. The boot looks really well done, paint's really good, sculpt's really good. Love the, I don't know what they call the part where your boot goes on a horse, I'm sorry. So that's really cool, it's really well done. Kind of spin around here. I want to talk a little bit, not about the back end of the horse, but the clear resin that was used to create this chiffon material. It is really well done. You heard me talk about it last year at Comic-Con at the booth, so I won't necessarily go on too long about it here, but it is really nicely done. It creates the look of that chiffon material that's on the outfit perfectly. It creates a distinct difference in look between the rest of Arwen's outfit versus what this is. So it definitely does its job. I think it's well done. They've used it obviously on Galadriel that we saw here just at Comic-Con this year. So definitely not afraid of using that to create different looks and material, which is nice because, you know, previously when Arwen has been done in this particular outfit, you know, it was all just polystone and one just material. So the differentiation in materials is nice because it allows for a more unique look to what that outfit looked like in the film. So really well done. And you have the part here with the sword, and so that's all one piece and slides in the arm. You got this side of the horse, and we'll talk a little bit about here. You've obviously got the sword sheath and her dagger, which is already in the sheath. And we don't see the dagger in the movie, if I recall. It's been a while since I've seen Fellowship, but I don't remember seeing it at all. I'm not even sure I remember seeing it in the film as far as on the horse. So I'll have to look the next time I see the movie. I may try to watch it before school goes back, so may sneak that in on my summer viewing. But it's really nicely detailed. I'll get a little bit closer here for you. Got great detailing on Frodo's foot. His foot looks dirty, like you would expect walking around and that kind of stuff. The hair looks really good. Let's see if I can get you a look from the top. And got the saddle. There's a pretty good detailing on the top part of the saddle here. Things that I didn't notice in the film that I'll definitely have to look for, so kind of back out and give you a little bit of a look. The horse's face is fantastic. They continue that trend of being able to make, you know, polystone horses look real, or as real as any horse I've ever seen. Just really nicely done. All the little hairs look real. I love how you got the little vein. If I can get my finger in the right spot here. I like how the veins pop out, and that looks real. The work on, you know, the bit and the reins coming off of it, it's really well done. One thing I didn't notice about the horse until I got it was that little cross at the top. It's a cool little detail that could have been overlooked, but you know, Weta doesn't usually leave any stone unturned, I don't think. And once again, nails the tiny little details, which are things fans expect and like when they are done. All right, so let's scoot up and get to the riders. Arwen's really well done. I like the paintwork on her. I like the detailing. The sculpt is pretty solid. I don't know that it's spot on for Liv Tyler, but it's really nicely done. I think, like I said, I know some people I've seen weren't necessarily happy with the paint or the sculpt and thought they were kind of off. I think they're pretty darn good. Like I said, the sculpt's not spot on, but Jane Winley did an absolute fantastic job as a whole. And there are definitely plenty of angles where I do think it's spot on to Liv Tyler. So, you know, I can understand some of the complaints, but for me as a whole, I'm not unhappy whatsoever with how it turned out. You got the little design in her shirt, and now I'm not sure if this is supposed to be painted or not. I didn't notice it on the prototype. I couldn't tell the one that was at Comic-Con this year if that was, you know, if that was I think that was a production version because it had a number on the bottom of it. So I don't know if this is supposed to be painted or if it's just supposed to be a design that's part of the outfit and left unpainted. It's a cool looking design though, either way. So, and then she's got some beautifully detailed bits going on with around the collar. And if I had one issue, I'll tell you one issue I would have about the overall paint or sculpt or whatever with the face that I would have liked to have seen done differently. Inside of her mouth is left that clear skin colored resin, and so it looks weird, I think, a little bit. And so I definitely would have liked to have seen that maybe painted black or something to where it gives the impression, you know, like the darkness inside someone's mouth. Let's get to Frodo. Oh, Mr. Frodo. And obviously he's supposed to look not well and everything. And I think that's accomplished as a whole. I do think the paint's a little weaker on him than her. I think there's just something about it that's a little off to me. I don't know what it is, but I do think it's a little bit off. It's not bad necessarily, but I definitely think when you have it next to you know, Arwen's paint and sculpt and everything, I do think the paint holds the sculpt back from Jane Winley a little bit when it comes to Frodo. And I'm not a big fan of all the extra dirt on the hands. So, you know, I could live without that. But all in all, it's a solid, you know, it's a solid piece. Like I said, I would definitely adjust the paint a little bit. Maybe some of the detailing in the hair that's popping out. But the two of them together create a really cool piece. So we'll back out here and give you another full look. We'll do one more turn around. Like I said, this thing is still up for sale on Weta's website, so you can get it there. $6.99, edition size is $7.50. If you're a fan of the Rider series and haven't gotten it, I would definitely get it. The Rider pieces tend to do better on the secondary market, so if this is one you think you might be able to skip and get later, I don't know that I would, because it's well done as a whole. I mean, like I said, there's a couple of little nits, maybe I guess you could call them. But you know, if I was going to give this a piece a rating out of a 10, I would easily do a 9. It's really beautiful. I absolutely love it. Arwen's not one of my favorite characters, but when I saw this piece, it just really spoke to me on how impressive it is. And then if I'm able to get Gandalf and Frodo on cart, I think it would be nice to have that moment and then Frodo on the cart and kind of show the, in some ways, you know, very different aspects of Frodo's journey. So One more time, $6.99, 750 edition size, sculpted by Jane Winley, who is fantastic. And I can't wait to see her Witch King and Frodo piece that she was sculpting last year at Comic-Con. It should be close to for us finally being able to see it. That's my understanding at Comic-Con. There was some tweaks that were made to the base, and that's why it didn't make it, but it should be close. You can still get this piece, so don't wait on it. You know, as always, I'll have the Facebook group and the Jimmer group linked below. You know, like, comment, share, make sure people see this. We want to make sure we keep Lord of the Rings going as hardcore as we can, because these are beautiful pieces, and Weta loves doing them. And the only way that they know that we love them is by continuing to purchase them and making sure people that want it, might want to get one. So definitely don't hesitate on grabbing this one. It's a worthy addition to any collection. As always, thank you for the support. Thank you for, if you came to our Comic-Con panel, thank you for being part of our Facebook group. Thank you for being part of our Jimmer group. Thank you for following us on all the social medias. We appreciate it. I appreciate it for you sticking around and listening to me talk about these statues. It means a lot. As always, guys, thank you for support. I love you. Till next time. Okay, so I know I said this was over, but I meant to point this out too. You know, to show you the beautiful design on the sword here. The sword again is metal, so that's another awesome thing about this statue. So I wanted to show you that, and I meant to show you kind of the detailing in the back of the hair too. So a couple of neat additions. We'll spin it back around. I like to end with you guys being able to see the actual statue. There we go. All right, guys, I promise now it's over. As always, thanks for the support, guys. Till next time, later.